Okay, all right. Okay, how do I remove? Cool, cool, cool. Hear me? Awesome. Bye. Well, guys, sorry about that. Uh, let's see, display capture. Sorry about that, guys. There was an issue on technical difficulties, but now I should be able to speak to you guys. Cool. Let me start from the very beginning. It's supposed to say US, not Canada, but I believe. So, Odoo, we are a software with one need, one app integration made out of the box. Essentially, this presentation will help you understand the question of how do we make our business more efficient with the use of software like Odoo. That's me, the Learning and Development Officer here at Odoo. I'm taking over for the birthday boy, Yossi. Happy birthday. So, who are we? We are Odoo, that's our story. Essentially started back in 2002, a tiny ERP, and over the years we've advanced and proceeded into Open ERP, then Odoo, and now we are Open Core Odoo Enterprise from 2019, or 20, I guess. Essentially, on the right, we see our CEO, Fabian Pinkiers, who says our mission is to help organizations grow. We want to unleash companies' potential by empowering users with tools they love. On the left is actually not 2005, even though that's when we were founded. This is taken last year in San Francisco. So we are a global company with Grand Rosier and Brussels being our main headquarters, where our executive suite and most of our R&D are housed. We have a small team in Luxembourg. Dubai just opened up. India, Gujarat, Hong Kong, Lisbon is relatively small, new, but good. Sales team, New York, and of course, our headquarters here in the United States, San Francisco. We have over 4.8 million users with 2,500 partners in 120 different countries, 67% annual growth year after year, and 21K apps in the App Store, making our App Store the #1 single largest repository of third-party applications in the world. So this is a little bit more about our Odoo ecosystem. With going left to right in no particular order or preference, we have Odoo. We provide the long-term vision and strategy with some core product development, offering services to both customers and partners alike, and we do the main support and bug fixing of our platform. Then we have the Odoo community. These are also people who are enthusiasts about Odoo. They may not be a customer, they might be a partner, may not be even Odoo as a whole. These guys are just enthusiasts. They collaborate on product development, they work on providing feedback with us, bug reporting, and they constitute a lot of the third-party applications you see. We have our partners. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. They're essential for our growth. They provide services to clients, particularly local on the ground. So maybe businesses want some more personalized support in person. Partners are a great way to go with that. For instance, a lot of our partners in Latin America help us expand that way. We also have the ability, or they have the ability, to help with niche markets, or maybe local rules, laws, or regulations for your local area or even government. And so we have, again, over 2,000 partners worldwide. And we have our Odoo customers who essentially will help finance this whole ecosystem. They collaborate on module development, and we benefit from editor and support services. These are a few examples of our over 7 million happy users and customers and from various industries and businesses, and they all use Odoo to a certain extent or degree. Now, here's our unique value proposition. So on this graph, we'll see here, we have your business scope on the left y-axis and user friendliness on the x-axis. You have some of the big heavy hitters, SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, NetSuite, who provide a lot of business scope, but may not be as user-friendly. And they provide full suite ERP solutions, just like Odoo. Then you have some of the more singular purpose user-friendly applications with less scope. Magento, Shopify, these are companies designed for e-commerce. You have QuickBooks for accounting, MailChimp for email marketing, Trello for project management, Salesforce for CRM. So all these applications provide user-friendly aspects, but they don't have the full scope as some of the heavy enterprise clients like NetSuite and SAP. But then you have us on the upper right-hand corner with large scope and high level of user-friendliness, which I'll demonstrate as opposed to just telling you. So we are highly integrated, all in one, we're easy to use, and we're very flexible. Now you see essentially what you can expect from most SMBs. You, your company, are on the left-hand side here with the customers on your right. Now, because you can't afford high-costing enterprise software such as NetSuite, SAP, Oracle, you have to or forced to use a bunch of different applications just to manage your business. Again, from different verticals: quick accounting, project management, calendar management, CRM, etc. You see it. So essentially, this is more like a Frankenstein of different applications to run your business and communicate with your clients. The reason why this is not particularly well suited for most businesses, there's no native integration. All these different platforms don't communicate with one another. There's no central intelligence where information can be consolidated and easily flow into for one large report for all your business needs. API connectors to integrate these different platforms are quite expensive. So if you don't have the integration, you need to manually actually update information from different modules and different applications. That actually increases user error and information flow. And ultimately, there's multiple systems that you need to teach your employees, which becomes inefficient because each one works in different ways and they have their own unique nuances. So Odoo is designed to be the all-in-one solution, mapping your business needs, meeting so that your clients and you are only divided by one solution, Odoo. Odoo is designed to be an a la carte solution for you, where you have a few applications such as CRM. You can start with one app for free, unlimited users, but you can start adding more applications a la carte when you're ready, sort of like a Lego blocks, building blocks of your whole business. And as you're ready, you add more applications, expand your usage as your needs expand. So you can start with just the single app use and go to the full suite ERP. Now, this is a relatively new endeavor we're working on here. I invite everybody to sign on with Mentimeter. Essentially, this will be a way for you to interact with me and ask me to guide this presentation in a certain direction based on your votes. So if you can please go to menti.com and input that value right there, and we'll use that together to see what needs to be done and where you guys want to go. So I'm going to change my screen so we can see this as a group here. So again, if you go to menti.com and use the code 263304, we will help you. You guys will get to vote on what I end up doing in our demo today. So when you're ready with the code that you input there, please vote for whichever one you want. So start with the website, open a secure store, or physical store, or start selling door to door. If you can let me know what you prefer, that'll be great. Wait a few minutes, give you guys a chance to actually vote. We'll wait just a couple more seconds, give up people the opportunity to go to menti.com and use the code. Otherwise, we'll just open up the physical store and see how that runs in Odoo. All right, well, it looks like that is the winning case for today. So let's dive into that right now. Moment. Excellent. So first thing you see here is this is Odoo. You may or may not have seen this. Essentially, the main thing you see in your main dashboard are the different applications you have installed. Of course, based on access rights, maybe you don't need to see everything. For instance, someone in inventory, sales, or purchase doesn't need to have access to accounting, so that will be removed. So you, of course, can install all the different applications you need under apps. I've installed everything we might need for today. What's nice about Odoo, because it's browser-based, it's also dynamic to the resolution of your device. So I can zoom in quite easily to make it easier for you to see what you're doing here. Now, we're going to talk about, you guys voted on starting up your own store. So that means we're talking about physical brick and mortar options, and that's our point of sale application right here. So the first thing you see here in this main dashboard are the different shops. So each rectangle, doesn't necessarily have to be a shop, will represent a single cashier or cash register at your physical location. Um, so you can have as many as you want and simply go under configuration and point of sale to add multiple, as you see here. Now, going to the main dashboard, we can dive into essentially the different apps. Now, we have a lot of different settings here to choose from when we're navigating the point of sale, um, as you can see here. But before we dive into some of those items, let's dive directly into the point of sale to see how our out-of-the-box solution integrates. We'll start a solution session here. And a session essentially is in the morning when your store manager comes in, they will need to, of course, open up the store. We'll remove that. That's more technical settings. Now, they open the cashier session. There is aspects we can control and change that, such as a cash drawer, which we'll discuss very shortly. This is the UI. It is the only module in Odoo, the point of sale, that allows you to run it offline. You of course need to start it while you have internet connection, but then as long as it's running already, it will work offline. Whether your storefront loses internet access or you're going to perhaps like a trade show and you want to be able to sell something on the fly. So on the left, you'll have the main options or the main operations that's occurring with information about how you can modify it and change information with discounts and prices. On the right are the main product offerings. So right now what's defaulted here is that I'm seeing all the chairs that I can sell. If I click on this home icon, I'm going to be able to see anything and everything in my repository of product database. So you can start adding new products very easily. Now, again, the point of sale is designed to be at a storefront, which I'm using a PC or a laptop in this case. However, it also works well on a tablet. So you can these will be buttons that you'll press on the screen with your finger to navigate very easily. So this is one session I've opened up. And for instance, let's say a particular client has brought up a whiteboard or a customizable desk. They may need to walk away, maybe because they forgot something or they want to continue shopping. So I don't have to close the session. I can simply go and add a new line here and deal with the next customer. You can see here, we have different categories: chairs, desks, miscellaneous. All of this pre-configured in the backend. So I can very easily select the items that the customer wants. Now, you might also be able to, if you click on your name, I don't have the setting turned on, but you can actually switch between employees should somebody need to check in or check out or switch up. So add the different products here. You can make changes to them. For instance, I can modify the quantity. I can provide potentially a discount of, let's say, 5% on that particular line item. You can even adjust the price accordingly for whatever reason you need to. Now, of course, because I have a keyboard in front of me, I typed in the keyboard. However, I'd make use of this little dial pad area here. So I can add different products. I can assign a customer, should they be a recurring one or not. And doing so actually does have some added value. Maybe they have a set price list. Maybe they have different tax rates. Maybe they're tax exempt. And so actually adding a contact here will help you keep track of sales per customer who walks in. And you also can take advantage of loyalty points and just get a general order history for them. You can even invoice them later. So we can check out with these products, payments. And when we go to the next stage, this is where we need to determine payment. Now, cash will imply that they're paying in cash. This is quite a bit of cash to pay and have it on you by hand. So, of course, we have bank. But with cash, you'll, of course, integrate this system with a cash register or cash drawer so that it will automatically pop up and open out so you can exchange cash. And I can just very easily type in here the amount that they're paying in cash, and it will offer the difference. However, because this is a large sum to have in cash, I can actually choose to pay with bank. Now, it says bank. You'll, of course, change the name to whatever you want. It'd be most likely something like Vantiv, Mercury Pay, or credit card. I mentioned Vantiv and Mercury Pay because these are the payment acquirers that we currently use, at least most energy in the United States, to integrate with the point of sale. You'll get a point of sale terminal to read a card, chip reader as well, and slide it through. It'll integrate and automatically charge the card and move forward to the next steps. Now, should you decide to use an additional or alternative payment acquirer, it won't integrate with. We can customize and develop that if you'd like to. However, out of the box solution would be to manage that separately, enter the amount they're paying, and move forward from there. So I can click validate, and this will finalize the transaction. And now here's the receipt. Of course, in this database, I don't have a logo specified. However, I do have general company information there with a header, footer, and if there is a logo, you'll see that there. So this is the receipt that can automatically be printed to a Zebra printer or anything connected to your device. Next, I can also choose to invoice the client. I have this particular order here. I will now check add a customer, let's see, Addison Olson, move forward, go to the payments, and I don't have a invoice option specified. So let's actually go through and manage that. She'll quickly pay with cash, just so that I can show you how to generate invoices. So there will be aspects of needing to make some changes here. So let me close the session, double click to ensure you're not accidentally closing out when you don't need to. Now, I'm going to dive into this when it loads. I'm going to change some settings in the back end here because I want to be able to invoice my clients for the work here or your customers. So Control F invoice, specify that, specify the journal, and that's the accounting option. Okay, so the session is active, so I can't do that. So quickly, it'd be very easy for me to close the session. Validating post-closing entries. Now let's go back, make the changes I need so that I can actually invoice my clients. Invoicing, save. So now when I go back to the point of sale, I can invoice my client. But while I'm here, I'm going to do one more aspect. I'm going to show you the cash register, cash drawer, cash control. It's quite common in a storefront to have the manager close out or make sure that there's count the cash that's in the drawer. So you're going to specify the type of bills here. So for instance, I can do $1 bills, and I'm going to have 20 of those. Then I'm going to have $5 bills and do 10 of those. 10 at 5 and 20 at 3. Just to keep it simple and save it. You can even do change should you need to, coins of any sort. And of course, specify the difference that you're willing to accept, because there's always potentially loss. Maybe someone drops some pennies or quarters, who knows? So let's just make $2 is sufficient. So we save this, and we can now continue on with the next process. Now, as I'm starting this next session here, what's going to happen is I need to specify the starting cash. Previously, when I open up the cash register or close my session, I left that cash that I generated from the last session. I'm going to open up the session, count the amount of money here, confirm, and that's my new starting cash. Now I'm assuming I took out all the other difference so I can deposit it in my bank at the end of the day. So start the session and continue selling. It's going to again load. So what you're seeing here is the information of the module being loaded onto your browser so you can work offline. Now I can start making transactions again. I can add a customizable desk, as many as I need, add the different products, and now add the customer, Floyd in this particular moment, and I'm going to check out. Payment. He wants to be invoiced for it. Okay, so we'll specify the invoice and payout. So now the invoice will be prompted to be installed and opened up. You can see what the invoice looks like right here. And this will be emailed to your client at any point in time, Floyd in this moment. Make sure I close this out. And let's dive back into the rest of the system. Now, just to show you the cash aspect, I'm going to place another order and actually place an order for a reasonable amount that somebody would pay for it. Here we go. So I'm going to specify payment, pay in cash. They pay with $30. They get that difference and validate. So one of the things I didn't mention during this whole process is the fact that while yes, this is a tablet or a potential tablet, what's nice about that is it's touchscreen, it's very easy. Now, however, as we're all familiar with the point of sale terminal, there's also a cash drawer, there is also a printer, there's also a barcode scanner so you can read the product of the information. Now, on a tablet, that's very difficult to do considering there's only one port, the charging port. So we have what we call an IoT box or Internet of Things. The IoT box essentially is a tool or device to allow you, it's a Raspberry Pi, to allow you to connect to multiple different hardware. IoT stands for Internet of Things. It's a way to blend hardware with software together so they can work well and communicate. For the Raspberry Pi, you'll connect the barcode scanner, the printer, and the cash drawer. to that Raspberry Pi, and you can connect the Raspberry Pi to the tablet either through Wi-Fi, YouTube, or sorry, not YouTube, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, YouTube, HDMI, or USB. And all the devices are able to connect to that same Raspberry Pi that way, and through the most likely wireless Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, connect to the tablet and be able to read the documentation or read the hardware that way. And that will help expedite the ease of use of scanning products. So now we close our session. We've just received a payment. It was a slow day. And so now we're going to close the session. Now the manager needs to, of course, take the cash drawer and go ahead and count the cash. So we see all the different transactions we have here, and we're going to set the closing cash, which we want the closing cash to be that 160. So we actually count. Okay, we have 10, 5, 3, forget how many we had here. We had 20, 10, 5, and 2. Or we're changing it up. Confirm. Now, obviously, there's going to be a difference. So we cash out on the different transactions. So we want to make sure that we take out the $6.34 reason, end of day, minus 6.34, and take money out. We're going to now deposit this into our bank at the end of the day, and we close at the end of the session. So now that we have the journal entries posted, it says, by the way, once we're back to internet connectivity, it will link with the rest of our Odoo database, inventory, reducing the inventory for the products that we sold, and generating the appropriate journal entries to ensure that our financial statements are accurate. We can now see by order on the reporting menu what occurred that day. In this case, it's by category. We can see the categories in the bottom. We can also take different measures of the total discounts, the prices, the product we sold, and of course the validation at an average price. We can look at it also in a different view graphs, change the group by, and in this case, of course, it's still product type, and we also have the pivot view, so we can even expand on it to have all sorts of reporting here. So we can go by product category, dive into it by product, and should we need to, we can even add customer, so we can know who we sold what to, and we can even expand everything very quickly. So it's a nice dynamic reporting with the dates here, and should we want to change it up, switch it out, we have an easy way to do so. So that's us starting a brick and mortar store. There are a lot more menu features we can talk about. However, we do have a limited amount of time here. So with that said, we're going to go back and let you guys vote on the next. What do you want to see next? So now that, whoops, wrong one. 1 second, is this the right one? Let's see, my apologies. We have the websites, we have physical store. Okay. This is what we're starting on. So now your business is growing slowly. You need to do some marketing. So we have a few options here. Again, Mentimeter 263304. So select which one. How do you want to market your company? We have the opportunity to engage our prospects in social media. We can send out a mass emailing campaign, or we can send a promo code by SMS. Please feel free to vote. So as I'm waiting for that, we'll essentially talk a little bit more about the point of sale and some of the additional features. The point of sale also works really well with restaurants and bars. Hopefully we'll be able to open up those soon enough, where you can essentially specify different tables and transfer bills and tabs between different individuals. From there, we also have other aspects to make it very easy for your users to navigate the point of sale, making the screen larger, having a digital keyboard in front of you, etc. Right now we have a heated tie, so we've now moved on from our heated tie. We'll wait just another couple of seconds to see if anyone else wants to vote and participate. So from there, oof, you guys are making it very difficult with the heated tie here. Let's see. Excellent. Okay. So What we'll do, just because there is this tie and we don't know who else is going to be participating in this, we'll do the social media, just because it was the first one to do. Now, should you guys ever have questions about the SMS, we can definitely touch on that later. So, social media. I'm going to dive back into Odoo, go into full screen mode so you're not distracted by all the fun stuff up top. So, one of the nice features about Odoo is it's very easy to search for where you want to go. Now, I can just type social and find the social media marketing, and it looks like a thumbs up. It's great. So the way it works with social marketing is essentially that you can link and add a stream based on either Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Now, the thing about social media, it's super important. It's probably really big, probably one of the biggest things these days. Everyone's on social media, posting with friends in social groups, buying, selling, you name it. And so it's very important to hit your market where it hurts, social media platform. So you can link your Facebook account, which I have done so. It's not mine, so you can try adding it all you want. And essentially, you can specify how you want to manage it, whether it's a post or mentions. All right, this is going to be post. Great. So we have here this particular. We can see the different stream we're looking on. We can add our own post. So taking a step back, these are different feeds. So the different feeds allow you to keep track of what's going on with you, going on with the different streams you're working on. So you can actually follow certain mentions, any like tags that people post all the time. So this is the main one we have here. So we can look at the different audience, the different followers we have, the percentage of how much it's increased, how many different likes we've received, comments or shares, any types of engagements, and general stories, people who have engaged with your channel, who have created stories on their friends or followers. And of course it's up. So in this case, there seems to be a connection problem. Let's see if we can link it back up. Oops, we don't want to go here. But you can see it automatically links with the Facebook page. Great. So we can synchronize and get everything up and running. So now when I'm ready, when it's done loading, I can post something. So when I post, I can specify whether it's going to be, where it's going to be. So I have different pages open right now. And I can specify a message. Our tables are the best in the market. So this is the push notification that everybody will see on their computer. You of course attach images should you see the need to. And I have a custom desk here, custom table, to see how it displays, and specify a campaign, which is linked to our marketing automation and everything of the sort. And you can choose when. So one of the important things about creating a post is knowing when to do it, because it's so easy to do it now. However, there are times of day that are more popular than others. While people are on the way to work, when people are on the way home from work, or just lounging about. Doing it between the normal 9 to 5 might not yield the best results. So that's why you can schedule it later and specify when you're going to post it. So let's post it today. Let's specify a time. We'll do it at 6 o'clock, just to give people time to get home. Well, I guess everyone's home, so it's irrelevant. But 6 might give them time. Actually, now that I think about it, people are going to have dinner. Let's make it early. 5 o'clock. Great. And schedule. So now it will happen in an hour or so, and people will be able to see this on our Facebook page. So a campaign essentially is linked with, as I mentioned previously, email marketing, mass mailing. So essentially, we can link this social marketing. It's built on the same platform as our email marketing campaigns to essentially send out email blasts. So this is the campaign, and they can go dive into it and follow through and get the emails they may need, opt out should they need to. And we can even go up here top to see the different campaigns. So we have the different campaigns here, whether new, scheduled. We can dive into it and see all the different mailings. So of course, this is a mailing list that we provided. Whether we got them through our contacts in the CRM, whether we got them through our sales, any sales that we've generated, whether we got them through any applicants who applied for a job with us, anywhere, I mean it. Or we can even install or import our own list that we got from a third party. Keep in mind that you want to make sure that your campaigns have a low bounce rate, otherwise you will get blacklisted. You'll link your email, social marketing and email marketing to a service like MailJet, so you can expand the amount of emails you send every day. And you also make sure they've been unsubscribed, so that way you will again aren't blacklisted. And so you'll be able to see the different posts within that particular social posting, with the one I just did now. And you can also see the different mailings that we've generated, so the 3 mailings, and dive into it to see what was done. And you'll get, of course, all the metrics up top about who received it, what was open, responses, bounce, etc. And those are the different analytics that are most relevant to you. So that's social marketing. We also have SMS marketing, which behaves pretty much the same way, identical. Well, not identical. If you actually mess around with our mailings, where you actually generate the different content body with a text message, it's going to be very limited just to messaging. You can also send like promo codes, and you can send it out, and it will have similar metrics, and the UI will be very similar. Otherwise, the difference is very little. So that's our social marketing. Let's see. Now let's jump back into what we need to see here. One moment. It won't let me back out. There we go. And let's see what next is available. Oopsies, wrong way. Okay, now you need new employees. So who do you want to recruit? An engineer, a technician, or a sales representative? So I'm going to continue talking about the social media marketing. We talked about that a little bit. As you saw, it's pretty, it can be quite advanced. And there's also a good YouTube video on it on our YouTube channel, Odoo's YouTube channel. So definitely take a look at it. There's a lot of more content there. I mentioned mass mailing. We also have an email marketing that allows you, marketing automation that allows you to essentially send out an email based on a time condition. So it can be based on context or anything of the sort. And then you can set a timer based off of X amount of time that it will send out an email to those same people. But then you can also trigger a condition that if they opened it, you can send a certain email to them after a certain amount of time. So the marketing automation helps you expand that usage there. All right, it looks like people want to hire a technician. So let's do that. So jumping back in here, we have a module called Recruitment. It's one of the many applications we have to manage HR. So when you dive into this, you see the first all the different job positions that you can hire for. These are all ones automatically available in our demo data. So I can easily just create a brand new job position for a technician. That's not how you spell it. Working on my spelling. There you go, perfect. And you can specify an email alias. So and this right here is my domain for the database I've created. Now, of course, this is one I created for this purpose of demonstration. However, you would create your own, and you can even change the domain to be whatever you need it to be. So what will happen is when they email that alias, it will create a application. So let's dive into it a little bit further. We can dive into the role itself and specify what company it belongs to. This will, of course, be your company. If you have our e-commerce and website, where it will be posted, and what department it belongs to. So you can create as many different departments as you need to. In this case, we'll call it professional services. Where it's located, we already know what the email alias does. Job description. Tech savvy role for all. Perfect. And you can specify how many new people you're hiring in this role. Let's make it 5. And so in this case, we have the responsible. This means who the manager is. We'll make it me. Apparently, I'm qualified to be a manager of technicians. So save that, and we're in recruitment process. So from here, we can dive into what we see on the right. The right essentially are the different metrics, all the different applicants, any documents assigned to them. Those will be resumes or cover letters, and tracking to see where these sources are coming from. So let's go back to the job positions and take a quick note real quickly. This is the job description I put up here, right? Now we can actually post on our website. So let's dive into what it looks like. Go to the website. This is all here. So short description, summary of the job. Perfect. And we can specify apply now. I could, of course, now it's not published. It's now visible for all in the whole world. So I can apply now. Enter my information. John Smith. John at smith.com. Phone number. It won't actually work, so please don't try. Short description. I am the best for this position. Just look at my resume. John's a bit modest. He is very confident in his ability to meet this role. So let's find a document that we'd like to utilize, resources. I'll just use the barcode template. That's his resume. Excellent. So now we submit. So now it's submitted. And so that form that we used there can actually be used in different ways. In this case, it's going to be used to create a job application in our backend. But we can also use that to create tasks, help desk tickets, leads. Those are just a few examples there. So let's go to the backend. So I, of course, see this purple bar because I'm an admin of this database. So going to the main dashboard, that icon there will take us to the back end of all the different apps we have installed. Now, so we go back to recruitment. And we see that we have one new application in the technician location. So now we have the first thing we see here is the different stages. This will be seen a lot throughout Odoo. And what I mean by that is we use similar framework to expand and develop further modules to help streamline everything. This will look very similar to what you see in the CRM, projects, help desks, our field service module, you name it. And so each stage represents a different stage of the process of recruitment. Clearly, we have initial qualification, the first interview, second interview, contract proposal, and contract sign. I can add another one, such as references, where I actually want to contact their list of references. I will now be able to drag it to wherever I want it to go. And within it, you can actually adjust some settings. It will load, do its little thinking bit. Dive into the settings here. We can fold it, just like we see over here. In fact, we might want to keep it folded because it might actually just muck up the information we see here, and we don't need to see everything. So we can actually keep it permanently folded. And by clicking Edit, you have this folded in Kanban. The sequence dictates where it belongs in the list. So from left to right, new to old, or closest to being hired, you can make a stage specific to a particular job, such as technician. So only technician can see the stage. But because we're creating this new reference stage, let's keep it there. This will be only applicable to the technician. Now, if I go to the email template, what this essentially happens is I can essentially, once I move an applicant into the stage, an email will be automatically sent out to that contact. In this case, it'll be acknowledgement, interest, or a refusal. But I can create my own templates should I need to, expand on it with this little external link icon to modify and automate what this says. Now, it may look like an alien language to you, because it certainly does to me. However, this information here will actually pre-populate with information elsewhere in the system. It's called a dynamic placeholder, such as if I want to get the applicant's name to automatically apply it in this email, specify name, applicant's name, and I will just copy this alien language and post it here. Excellent. So now I've modified this. Let's save it and save one more time. However, before I do that, we can also have these blocking messages. These are designed for internal management to say, okay, I'm working on this, so it's great. Red, there's an issue. Maybe I need my manager's help to assist me with this application. Or green, I'm ready to move to the next stage and move forward with this applicant. So we'll save this for now. We don't actually want the acknowledgement on this stage. It doesn't make sense from a business perspective. But it does make sense on the initial qualification stage. I can open it, let's edit it, let's make sure it's there. It's not. But next time I create an applicant, it will work. But we can also do it ourselves. This is called Kanban View. This is where we can see some basic information, and each card is a different candidate. As you saw previously, I created this candidate through a Contact Us. However, I can create it manually and create all the necessary information this way. But you can also import it in with an import function. And most, if not all, data in Odoo is easily importable. You can specify priority, which now that John Smith is a higher priority and I refresh this page, he'll be moved to the top of the list. You have the attachments icon to see that there are attachments in the record, and I can schedule an activity, which is essentially I'm going to call him today, first contact. Not to be confused with the Star Trek first contact. Excellent. So now this is due actually yesterday, so I'm late. So we can dive into this record and see what information is here. All this information is supposed to be essentially generated, input by the recruiter, in this case me. I'm not doing my job. However, we saw down below what here is called our chatter, and it exists on all outward-facing documents. It's designed for a few purposes. One, keep track of the history, when it was created, what attachments were done, when something was modified, um, when they were, and also not only that, but also their correspondences. So, for instance, because that email wasn't sent automatically, I can send it manually. I can send a message, click on the right-hand side for the full composer to blow it up and write a more professional-looking email. John Smith, I need to create a contact. Okay. And now I can specify that template. Acknowledgement. So remember that alien language that I put in the previous screen? It's all here, now converted into English. So now I can easily send this out, generate an email without having to create new ones every single time, and it will expedite my process to recruit. So that will be automatically sent normally when a contact is created. So we have all these general standard fields that I need to make adjustments to. So the phone number, mobile, degree, he's a graduate, super smart guy, tags, he's definitely a manager material, and we heard about him directly through an employee perhaps. And he's referred by myself. I am no separation of duties. I might be hiring my friend for no reason. Expected salary, he's worth a lot. And the proposed salary. I like him, so I'm going to give him more. So essentially, you have all these just generic fields that you can add here, but that's not all. You can definitely add a lot more fields should you feel the need to with an application we call Studio. So we talked about the chatter already. We can also log notes. So not only is the chatter good for the back and forth correspondence, but I can also message somebody who is more senior who might be able to help me out, such as John. Well, it's him. In this database, I don't have anyone else. But that @ symbol means you can ping another user in the database, such as manager. Can you help me verify if they are qualified to continue? And then my manager will get a message to in their inbox to jump to this and review it to let me know. Then they can message me back and say, I trust your judgment. Great, what a great manager. I am free to do whatever I need. Excellent. So now we have the activities. You'll notice it's red. If I go back to Kanban View, this is the form view looking at a particular record, you'll notice the red icon up here. And with Amanda Johnson, if I were to schedule an activity in the future, call tomorrow, why not, or 3 days from now, it'll be green. And so if there's no activity, it's gray, or if it's due today, it's orange. It's your way of keeping track of what you need to do. You have this clock icon up here, assuming you wear multiple hats, you're going to see every single module and application where you have to-do lists. So I have 3 activities in my CRM pipeline because I'm a salesperson as well as a recruiter. And I have all these late activities, so I'm really need to work on that. So that's the chatter. It's very good for keeping track of stuff. I contacted John Smith, very nice guy. Let's move forward to the next stage. And I do done and schedule next, which will allow me to specify the next activity, a meeting, or to do, let's email him instead, and email about next steps. I'm going to do that tomorrow and schedule. So it's very easy to keep track of your day-to-day. And the intent here is that everyone in your company will be essentially utilizing and living and breathing in Odoo constantly. So for that reason, activities are super relevant. It's also good for my manager to make sure I'm actually doing my job. Now, I can move through different stages, and as I move through the different stages, it will update the chatter. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's all here. See, positive review, that message is automatically sent based on the stage that was configured. I can continue moving on and propose a contract. Now it's proposed. This allows me to send out a contract, which we do have a location for that hidden in another module. And so now we can create an employee. The creating an employee is the next step in fulfilling their journey. So yep, I am sure John Smith is a great candidate. So now that I do that, it will create a contact record where you have a lot of information here that's helpful for you. Of course, the general contact details that we all expect to see here. I will be his manager, or we can add another employee as manager. Maybe Abigail will be better suited for his to manage him. We also have the responsibilities down below. So Abigail is the coach, and we can also make her responsible for their timesheets, time off, or expenses. That depends on how we want to see fit. Now, these do have ramifications elsewhere throughout the system. Timesheet being our project management timesheet module, time off, our HR expense leave module, and of course our expenses. Specify their working hours, their time zone, should you need to modify that. And we have general private information. This is all you'd expect under the rainbow, nothing really abnormal here. Where there might be some differences specifically is the HR settings. This also has aspects to who they log in as, and also timesheet costs, should you want to re-invoice their time to your customers and get a good cost analysis of their time working on a project. And so you see, save it, and it's now a new employee is created in the database, and you can see I can link it with an onboarding plan. So there's a lot of native integration here with the system and the software that allows you to kind of really manage the full suite of solutions. Now that we've done recruitment and talked about the employee, let's see what else we can show you guys while we have time. Let's see if it'll open up. One moment. Sorry about the more technical difficulties. There's supposed to be a... Let's do this. There we go. Perfect. And everyone wants technician. All right. You want to add a new service in your company. What do you prefer? A custom office design or an on-site intervention after sales service? We'll do this in the next 10 minutes, so we have enough time to cover this. Perfect. We have one vote already for on-site intervention. Who's next? 2 votes. Going once. Going twice. Going 4th times. All right, on-site intervention. So let's dive into what this looks like. So we have a module called Field Service. It's a new module for version 13 that came out in October. It's intended to be used by your technician to go on site to perform whatever service that it is that you provide. We're all familiar with this group of people. Comcast, Xfinity, or these are just examples. These are people who are cable technicians who go on site to make sure your internet connectivity is installed. We all want to make sure that's very good right now. Make sure we can watch TV after work. So these are just examples. Plumbers, you name it. So essentially, this is the field service module. The first thing you'll see here are the tasks assigned to me. I know that because I look in the filter up top, my tasks. This looks similar to what we saw before in the recruitment. It is the different stages, but they're not stages. These are different days. So today, being May 5th, these are the activities I need to work on today. I can dive into one particular, boiler maintenance with Colleen Diaz at Azure Interior, and this is their location, phone number, etc., and the date at which I need to do it. Clearly, I am late. It was supposed to be done this morning at midnight until 2 a.m. Clearly, there's no separation of respecting people's times and work-life balance here. But I can very easily see all the different tasks I need to do. We also have the chatter, just like before. Now, before I dive into one task I need to work on, what's nice is that we have a new view here. And by view, I mean different ways of viewing the same information. This is Kanban View. Remember, we have the different stages. In this case, dates I need to work on something. This is what we call Form View, to see the particular record so I can see what I need to do and make adjustments accordingly. We have, of course, the Calendar View to see where I need to go at what dates, which is super helpful. If I want additional information, there's List View. Now, what's a really cool feature, it's new in version 13, is the Map View. It will take the contact data and put it in a map. It will load eventually, and so this is San Francisco Bay Area, more central. And so you can actually see my tasks on the right-hand side, numbered 1 through 10, and I can see where I need to go. I'm assuming, if I were to zoom in, just from memory, that task number 1 is over here somewhere in Fremont. It's quite possible they're the same address. Yes, they're the same address. So I know where I need to go. So it's a very easy way to dive into the particular one and navigate to. And navigating to will actually open up Google Maps. And so now I know where I need to go. Now you all know where I live. So continuing on, I can go and make additional changes. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to perform my service, right? I'm going to go walk in. I'm going to be courteous and respectful. I'm going to provide the boiler maintenance I need to do. Now, the moment I start, I click start. And it's going to keep track of my time. And I have time sheets associated to me and billable rates. So it's going to keep running. I'm going to do all the maintenance I need to do. And let's say I need to replace some parts. So right here, you have the products here. You open that up and you have a long list of different products to work on that you can add. Okay, so I'm performing the maintenance. I'm adding some screws. I can keep adding screws until I'm done adding the screws. Same thing with the bolts here. And maybe while I am installing a boiler, I have a side job where I'm selling chairs. They're buying a chair as well. So it works out really well for me. I've really diversified my portfolio here. So I add the products and I go back. I'm going back through what we call the breadcrumb. This is the breadcrumb. So instead of clicking back on my keyboard or back on the screen, I'll talk about screen in a moment, I can just go straight to the record I want in question. And so now that I have added the products, I can see I can bill my client for the 163.65. Now, before I stop my work, I am clearly doing this on a laptop. However, what's nice is that Odoo is mobile friendly. I can right click and inspect it to see what it would look like on a mobile device. Here it is now. I can scroll down, I can pause it, resume it, I can add more products. It's designed, these icons here are designed to be used on a mobile device because most likely or not, your technician will be working on a mobile device. Excellent. Let's go back and let's go back to the normal view so that you can all see what I'm actually doing instead of guessing. So now that I spent a minute and 40 seconds maintaining their boiler, which is record time, might I say, I've now performed my task. So I can mark it as done. And you see a lot more information. I should have turned off a setting. Sorry. And now I can create invoice. So now I can create the invoice to bill them for the work performed. Create in view. And now it's linked to my accounting. It will pull up all the different products that I've specified, the different rates and the quantities, and the information here. Clearly, it's not showing all the different products I've added to it. So that tells me, because this is a demo environment, that certain products are allowable to be on the field service. So while despite I might actually sell tables and chairs, I wasn't allowed to in that case, so it's not going to show up here. So that's what they did. Lucky for them, I'm only charging them $16.91 plus my time at record time. So $10 for that time I spent. Okay, and I can post it. Now it's posted and linked with my accounting module. And very seamless posted journal entries. You can even see the journal entry here. All my income is correctly credited with my tax and accounts receivable credited or debited. Pretty straightforward. So in the field service, going back, one thing is you can also require a signature should you need to. You can see all the different tasks. You can even plan it. We've really revamped our Gantt view with version 13 to allow for a lot more seamless experience. Right now I'm looking for today. I can just look at day. I can group by. Well, first off, I'm looking at my tasks. Clearly, I don't want to look at just my tasks. I want to look at everyone else's tasks because maybe I'm a manager. I can group by and stage or project, field service, or responsible. And so I don't have anyone else. I'm the sole person working here, so I'm checking my own schedule. So my boss is a real nice guy. Tell him I said so. So I'm working on my own schedule and doing whatever I need to. And you can dive into the particular records and add more, make changes, create a field service. This is linked with a few modules as well. I think specifically the help desk module. So you can have a help desk team who fields calls all day, emails, or help desk tickets. And someone can call in and say, hey, I have an issue with my boiler, or I have an issue with my internet, or whatever service you provide. And you can say, oh, do you want to send a technician out to you? They can say yes or no. And the help desk person can then easily, with a click of a button, create a task in the field service module to then send a message to whomever you need to. Hey, you're in the area. Can you handle this today or tomorrow? And you can give a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and go from there. Now, That said, I know I had a rough start. I apologize, some technical difficulties, uh, but I'm hoping that you're able to learn a lot about what we have to offer at Odoo with our software. These are different mediums to contact us should you need to. My email is in the beginning should you want to contact me for any purpose or whatever, questions or just general feedback or encouragement. Again, my name is Richard. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.